There we go. Looks like we're live. We'll give everyone a few minutes to pop in here. All right, I'll wait for some comments to come along. Maybe we'll give everyone 30 seconds or a minute and we'll get people. Oh, there we go. There's some people coming. Hey, Heidi. Hey, Ashley. How's it going? I hope you guys are doing good. I'm in California this week, so I'm in short sleeves, so it's kind of nice. Oh, there's Gracie. Hi, Stephanie. Or actually, that might be Jenny under Grace Rose Farm, or Nick. I don't know. Hello, Gracie, or Nick, or Jenny, or all of you. Hey, Leslie. Oh, there we come. Oh, goodness. It's funny how like sometimes like the comments take a little while, and all of a sudden there's like a whole bunch of them come in. Hi, Susan. Ashley, we need to know when the exclusives are dropping. I know. Okay, exclusive update. So we are signing the paperwork this week, pretty sure. And then we'll be naming them. So they'll be coming soon. So what has to happen? We have to finish the paperwork, and then we have to have our naming committee with our conservator members. And then I have to do some trademark research to make sure those names work out. And then we'll be releasing them. So I have a feeling in the next month it'll happen. So maybe it'll be like our Valentine's Day gift to all of us. So I promise we'll keep you updated, but they're coming. And we've got some incredible roses for exclusives coming. So Leslie says, I'm wearing that exact same Carhartt t-shirt right now. Oh, sweet. Yeah, it's like a rose-colored Carhartt. I love this. I love this shirt. It's so funny. Every time I come here, I bring like stuff to work outside because I'm usually like in the rose fields or in the fulfillment center. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do a live and I'm wearing a Carhartt t-shirt, but there you have it. I guess I'm the plant nerd, right? So hopefully I get a pass on not matching the Grace Rose Farm beauty. Oh, hi everyone. Let's see. Lilius, hi. Hey, Kenzie. Is it Charisse? That's a beautiful name. Do you need a trademark paralegal? Will work for roses. Hey, you know what? Maybe. Sharon, yeah, we all are plant nerds. Isn't it great? It's so funny. My husband's not a plant nerd at all. And so every time I talk to him about plants, especially roses, like his eye starts to drift. Like he pretends like he's looking at me, but I can tell he's looking at like my eyebrow and he's drifting away. And I'm like, never mind. So I always love coming on and talking with other rose geeks and plant nerds because it's fun. So Ashley asks, how is the shipping going? Great question, Ashley. So we're going to start on Monday. We were hoping to start maybe on Friday, but we're going to start on Monday. Everything's coming along so well. Ryan and the team here have been working their butt off. The roses look phenomenal. I walked every single cooler and looked through all the bare roots. It was a beautiful crop. So they're huge this year. They're really nice. So we have these commercial coolers. They keep them at 35 degrees. They're nice and tight and dormant. They look great. We water them on a daily basis, keep them moist. So they're staying nice and sleepy until we send them to you. So, and our fulfillment center, we're getting all the like final little details set up. We have this quality control board area. We have all of these racks, how we're going to stage stuff, and all these cartons and how we're going to pull it. And so we're just finalizing all those pieces. But we have the roses in. They're on the shelves. They're cataloged. I'm finalizing the final inventory tonight. And so we're going to be ready to go on Monday. And we are going to go fast and furious. So all of you in that January ship window and early February, you're going to start seeing some emails next week. So we're really, really excited to get started. And I think you guys are going to be really happy with the quality and just everything that we're doing to make a better experience with our Better Bare Roots. So it is very busy. Very tired. And we have Valentine's Day coming on top of all this. Valentine's Day is like the big day for cut roses. So we have some incredible cool products that we're going to be launching here soon for Valentine's Day. So keep an eye out for that. Give your significant others a little like hint that what you want for Valentine's Day. So Jenny says, ooh, listen to this. We can combine shipping today for this show. Any Bare Roots purchase between now until 10 p.m. Pacific can be combined with eligible shipping on file. So that is awesome. That's great. So keep that in mind. Anything you see, if you only see one you like, you want to try, that's a really great deal. And you already have an order with us, keep in mind that we have 2 size boxes, right? We have a 6-pack box and we have an 18-pack box when it comes to our bushes. So if you have an order with us already that has 6 on it and you want to add another one, that means we have to bump you up to the next size box. So just keep that in mind. And luckily the shipping isn't that much more expensive from a 6 to an 18, but just something to keep in mind. So there's 6-pack and 18-pack on our bushes. That's how the boxes come. So Marcy asked, do you prune to an outward facing bud? We're going to talk all about pruning. Today is mostly showcasing some specific varieties of bare root roses. And I'm going to be doing some filming about what you do when you actually receive your bare root rose. That's not going to be tonight. Tonight, I'm going to show you some roses and talk to you about them, some of the history behind them, and actually get to physically see them. They're kind of a little bit lesser known, but we're also having a flash sale right now. So everything I'm showing you is in our flash sale. So Christopher says, I had just found your group. Oh, welcome, Christopher. We're excited to have you. Welcome. Do you ship to Ontario, Canada? We don't, Christopher. I'm really sorry. We only ship to the contingent 48 states. But a really good grower, Lakeview Roses up in Canada, just started shipping, and they have some varieties that we really like. So maybe check them out as a possible bare root rose supplier for you. But this is a fun place to learn, Christopher, even though we don't ship to you. Like it's a fun place to learn. There's so many really good rosarians here. So we're happy to have you in our group. Let's see. Carrie says she can't wait. Bare Roots. Stephanie said, feel better, Gracie. And Carol says, I can only imagine the work that goes on behind the scenes. Yes, it's a lot. It's a big deal. Tens and tens of thousands of bare root roses is a huge, huge project. So, but they look amazing. So, Holiday asks, can bare roots be mixed with bare root trees? They can't, unfortunately. First of all, we need to protect those trunks. And when you shove stuff in there, it can scrape it and that can cause a lot of damage. And so we keep the trees separate from the bushes. So, Erin says she keeps bumping up to the larger boxes. Janelle asked, did you say a 6-pack and the next one is 18? Yes. So it's 6 and then 18. So the nice thing is once you bump up to 18, you got lots of room to keep adding here and there. And the shipping isn't too much more expensive between the 6 and 18. Of course, it depends on where you live because it's shipping from California. But hi, Mary. Hi, Helen. It's good to see you too. Cheryl asked, when do we plant these? Bare roses, we'll talk about that too. That's a great question. Will there be any Valentine's Day sales? And yes, we're going to have some Valentine's Day sales, mostly on cuts. We have a really beautiful Valentine's Day bush collection for you too, though. Okay, all right. I think I'm going to get started. Okay, so tonight I'm going to show you, these are fresh right out of the cooler, bringing them over. We just got some of these and got them staged today. So I'm going to start with one of my favorites. I get asked a lot, Heidi, what are your sleeper roses? What are the roses that you feel like nobody knows and everybody needs? And I'm going to show you the one that I think every single person in the entire United States needs to have. Okay. let's do, so first of all, look, I'm holding it as high as I can, and there's still root. This is a polyantha rose. This one's called Pretty Polly Lavender. So polyantha roses, we used to talk about this to start all the time. And we're like, why is this not in every single landscape in America? It is the toughest, hardiest rose. They're so delicate looking, but they are so tough. So as you can see, the canes are really thin, right? And that's okay. That's the way polyanthas grow. And it makes them have tons of blooms on them. So polyantha roses have very small roses and they're bloom in clusters. So it's a specific species of rose. And the Pretty Polly series were bred by a wonderful US rose breeder called Dr. David Slezak. He is on a whole bunch of different rose committees. He's been part of like all sorts of societies. And he trained initially under Mr. Will Radler, who is the breeder of the knockout rose. So Dr. Slezak is really, really passionate about polyanthas. And for very good reason. You know, when we talk about sustainable growth, climate change, like all of these things, like you want to plant things that are going to last for a long time, right? Pretty Polly roses are one of those types of roses. Polyanthas in general, but Pretty Pollys are even better because they're more compact. A lot of the drift roses have polyantha in them. That's why they're so tough. That's why they're so hardy. Pretty Pollys are super winter hardy. So they're winter hardy down to zone 4, and they can handle a lot of heat too. They're extremely drought tolerant. As you can see, look how fibrous this root system is. I'll get out of the way and put it up against the white ceiling. Look how long and how fibrous that root system is. This is, of course, an own root rose, which also makes it very, very winter hardy. So you can see one of the reasons why it is so drought tolerant is because it naturally forms lots and lots and lots of fine feeder roots. You don't see tons and tons of anchoring roots. So they're really, really good at water absorption, which makes them very floriferous. And they bloom on and on and on. They'll have a little bit of a rest period, but they come in 3 colors. So we have Pretty Polly Lavender, White, and Pink. And the beautiful thing about this compared to drift roses is that these are fragrant. So I know you guys love fragrance. I love fragrance. I think a rose needs to have fragrance. And so if you want a hardy landscape rose that also has fragrance where you could cut them and bring them in as cool little like different textures and fillers, Pretty Polly will give you that fragrance. So if I had to pick one rose of all roses I've ever seen or experienced for hardy landscape performance, it would be polyanthas. So I can't say enough good about them. So anyway, you can see that this is a grade 1. Looks very different than Francis Mayon, right? Let's see. Let me see if I have a budded rose here. Here we go. Okay. Here is a budded rose, grade 1. This one here, let me see what it is. This is Parfuma Summer Romance. That is, I believe, budded. Actually, this might be en route. Hang on a second. No, that's en route. That's how big Parfuma Summer Romance is, by the way. That's en route. Sorry. We grab budded here. Oh, there's one. Sorry, it's so funny. Sometimes own roots, when they're really like aggressive, they can look budded because they have, this one's definitely budded. You can see it, right? This one is, let's take a peek at this. Sorry, they're still very muddy because we just got them. French lace. Oh, French lace is such a good one. But look how different they are. These are both grade 1. Okay. And one is budded. So this is a 2-year budded plant. Look how many canes it has. And this is also a grade 1. They have different grading systems. If you want to learn more about that, you can read my blog. But they're different grading systems, different minimum diameter of the canes. So you may get a box with this and this, and they both say grade 1. You're like, oh, this one might be wimpy. No, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like. This is a very healthy plant. So it's just important to note and understand that. So anyway, Pretty Pollys, love, 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 love them. Let's see, let me get the mud off my fingers here. Let's see if there are any questions. Lilius was saying, I was talking to a friend about summer romance, how healthy it is. Yeah. Can you see why? Let's bring summer romance back up here. Okay. Sorry. Look at summer romance. This is a 1-year own root plant. It does have a broken cane here in the center that we'll prune out. We'll prune out anything broken for you. That's the only thing we're going to prune out is stuff that's broken. But look how huge these roots are. That is a 1-year own root plant, and these enormous. You can see here. Here's a pen. How big they are compared to that pen. Way fatter than a pen. So remember with hybrid teas, grandifloras, and climbers, it's at least 3 canes with at least the width of a Sharpie. So use it with me, but I hope that kind of works to help you kind of realize. So it's the width of a Sharpie. But look how much fibrous roots there are in here. Lots of fibrous roots, lots of good anchor roots. You can always tell a really healthy rose by its root system. So this is Parfuma Summer Romance. This is a Cortez rose. So the Parfuma series is bred by Cortez out of Germany. And we love their genetics because they breed in a very humid climate that's very similar to the Mid-Atlantic. And so, and also Germany has banned all use of fungicides. So they have had years and years ahead of the whole curve of less is more, less pesticide. And so their genetics naturally are very disease resistant. So Parfuma Summer Romance is part of our special. This is a #1 own root plant. Look how many roots there are. That's incredible. Very healthy too. Very, very healthy. So really happy about this. I'd be really happy to get this one. So, okay. Let's see. Obviously the Parfuma series, there's all different series of roses and they each have different like qualifying attributes. I wrote a little blog about different rose series and what they mean. And so Parfuma, as you can imagine, fragrance is forward. It's the main piece, but the other piece also has to be high petal count, has to be good for vase life. But obviously the main component there is fragrance. So you think of Parfuma Earth Angel. There's so many Parfumas, my mind went blank. I'll think of a lot more. Parfuma First Crush. So lots of great Parfuma roses. Okay, let's see. What's next here? I'll show you. Oh, this one has a cool little curve in it. That's interesting. Let's see. What is this one? Oh, okay. This one is Mediland White. So look, once again, this is an own root rose. Okay. Look at those roots. It's crazy. I will for a second. Do you think this one is drought tolerant? Because it is, you'd be right. Look how fibrous that root system is. Medilands are a Mayon rose, or a French bred rose, and they were specifically bred for landscape performance. Medilands have been around forever. I remember when I first changed, I was an art education major before I went to horticulture, and I had a job at a garden center. And I remember the Medilands. I would order them. I was a nursery manager there. And I remember ordering Medilands, even way back then. I won't tell you how long ago that was. But they stuck around for a very good reason. When genetics are good, they stick around. Because generally once people find them, they love them. Think of like iceberg, lots of genetics. So this is Mediland White. Mediland comes in different colors. White is probably our most popular one because people love white in their landscape. These are phenomenal to do in mass plantings. So smaller flowers, lots of flowers, and very, very drought tolerant and very hardy. So Many lens are best. Someone asked if they're best in dry climates and hot and humid. I would say they perform the best in dry climates. Because it's an older genetic, there are other roses in hot and humid climates for a white mass planting rose hedge that maybe I would suggest to you. So if hot and humid, you can grow them. Yes, they might get a little bit of black spot. I would do, instead I would do like ice cap would be a really good one. Drift white, drift popcorn, pretty poly white. Those are all really good like landscape white roses for really hot and humid. So, but Medilyn white, they're everywhere over the West Coast here. Landscapers use them a lot. So Medilyn whites, Mayon bread, French bread, bread specifically for low maintenance beauty. So, okay, let's take a look if there's any. Is this on the portal? Oh, I have her love it. Jessica says she hasn't. She loves it. Awesome. Medilyn great around cover for slope. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Medilyns are like kind of ground cover roses. I wouldn't say they're really flat like a flower carpet, but they're considered ground cover. So they're kind of more like wavy, like I think of like more like oceany, I guess. Beth says, I knew I should have gotten an ice cap there, sold out now. Yeah, ice cap is a really good one. Okay, let's go to another one. Let's see, what do we got next? Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay, so first of all, I want you to look at this and I want you to tell me if you think this is budded or own root. And what grade do you think it is? Nobody's responding. Unless the comments are going, sometimes they come in big waves. This is budded. This is a budded plant. You can see the bud union right here. It's kind of hard with this in this lighting, but these have nice big long roots. Look how long these are. Lots of fibers in there too. Lots of fibrous roots. This is a 2-year budded called Rainbow Sorbet. Rachel asked, how is multiflora rootstock in the heat of 9B? Multiflora is really good in like, multiflora, this is Dr. Huey, by the way. Multiflora rootstock can handle the cold better than it can the heat, but it depends on what 9B you're in. It tends to like a little bit sandier soil too. So, okay, let's see. Rainbow Sorbet. So Rainbow Sorbet was bred. I think this one is, this was introduced by Bailey's. Yeah, that's what I thought. So if you ever heard of like Endless Summer Hydrangeas or First Editions plant, Easy Elegance roses, that's the company that introduced this rose. They used to have Ping Lim as their breeder for years and years and years. I'm not sure if he bred this specific rose. Usually his cultivars start with something very specific. And this one starts with the BAI, which means Bailey's. So I have to look to see who actually is the breeder of this one, but it's so pretty. You know, Star didn't introduce this, but there was so much demand for it because it has such a beautiful multicolored rose to it. So people just love the coloration. It won a ton of awards in its day. And as you can see, nice healthy roots. You know, it's budded. There's absolutely no sign of gall or anything. Looks very clean, very good. So this rose would come to you just like this, and that's a grade 1 plant. So look up, take a look at the pictures of Rainbow Sorbet. It really kind of made its debut, I would say, in more like the big box, but it's worth a look at because the coloration is really beautiful. It reminds me of kind of like Chicago Peace, but with more white in it. So anyway, check that one out. Really popular one that's been around a long time and was introduced by a really well-known and well-respected horticulture company in America. So they're very good at trialing and they're very good with roses. So this is Rainbow Sorbet. Okay, let's see what else we got here. You guys get to see all this stuff for the first time. Ryan just brought these to me. So let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Actually, first I'll see if there's any questions. Let me sit this down and grab another paper towel. Oh, I almost dropped the paper towel thing. Rainbow sorbet glows. Yeah, light dream come true. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, make sure you have a big bucket or like a kiddie pool for soaking your roses in. I'm not sure how to say that. It looks like a beautiful name, Krimti Kendi Tao. I'm sorry, I probably totally botched that, but I'm sure it'd be super beautiful. They're asking about the bare root drop. You mean the ones that we haven't done yet? Reply. Oh, I hear someone coming in. Two more bare root coming our way. This one, while we're waiting, is, oh, look at those. Hang on a second. And pruners.
Those are,
yeah.
You can toss them inside the
okay.
table. That'd be great.
Awesome. Look what I got. Pruners. Ryan brought us some treats. Come on.
Oh, only 36s. And
oh, cool. You got to see this thing. Okay. We're going to pause from bushes to show you a surprise. Yeah, just some done because I'll clean this whole area. Say hi, Ryan.
Everybody.
Ryan's nice. He went over and got some trees for us to bring over to show you. So this one is like.
That's 48.
Yeah, this is a 48-inch tree. But look, yes, maybe I have to do it sideways. You guys wanted to see what the pom-poms look like? Bare root. Look at that. These are the Sunblame's pom-pom. This one is autumn. Holy cow. These things are 2 years old. And so isn't that crazy? They do 4 bud eyes in each palm. So you literally have 8 plants on each one of these pom-poms. And they make the cutest trees. They're so fun. Look how huge those roots are. Do you guys see why we don't want to put other bare root roses in with trees? Because you don't want to scrape this. So we want to keep the trees together. So you can see why it's so expensive to ship our trees, because they are enormous. So that is what a pom-pom tree looks like. You can see just how thick that trunk is. That's a 2-year trunk. So this is RW. That's the tree, the scion stock that they use to bud. And they pick that because it doesn't scar as bad. So Sharon asked, wait, what is this one? This is Sunblaze pom-pom. So see, we have it budded.
It's autumn. Sunblaze autumn.
Oh, sorry, Sunblaze autumn. What did I say?
You said pom-pom. They're the variety of.
Yeah. Okay.
So
sorry.
there's a whole bunch of Sunblaze trees there.
Yeah. So there's like yellow.
Took me a little while to figure that out.
Yeah. So the pom-pom isn't the variety. It's the form of how they're budded. And they come in different varieties. So they use Sunblaze because it's miniature. So they make the cutest, roundest little heads that just bloom almost all summer. They'll slow down in the heat, but they make really, really cool patio trees. So especially for a formal entryway, like one on either side is super cool. But yeah, look at those. Look how huge that is. So anyway, you're literally getting 8 mini roses and a 2-year-old tree when you buy these. That's how many bud eyes are on these. So really happy with that. Nice straight trunks. They train the trunks to be really straight. So anyway, I know you guys wanted to see that and understand what that looks like. So there you go. Let's see.
Do you want me to take the trees back? Can you fit them in your car?
I can fit in my car. I have they upgraded me for free to this like Mazda 7-seat passenger thing. So
luxurious,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't get to the 24s or the 48s.
That's okay.
There were stuff in front of me.
That's cool. We'll show them these ones.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy. Have a good time.
Say bye to Ryan. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Paige asked, are the pom-pom trees available right now? They are. They're on our website. So type in pom-pom And there's a couple of varieties of sunblades there. So they're super rare. You almost never see them anywhere but California. It is a California plant because number one, they're expensive. And number two, they're hard to ship. So it's just a really cool, unique thing that we offer. But as you can see, they're huge and they do cost a lot of money to ship because they have to come in our big boxes. So, but they're definitely one of those like luxurious, like formal looking type of product. So we have very few of these. I think we stocked maybe 5 of each, maybe 10. So anyway, go check out the pom-poms. They're so incredible. Like when they're in bloom, or like people will be like, what is that? You know, did you train it to be that way? And if you want, you can lie and say yes, but someone else did all the work for you. Okay, let's show some other trees. Let's see what we got here. So let's see. Ooh, Arctic Blue. Arctic Blue. This is a Weeks variety. You can see beautifully budded, really well branched. I always like to look down from it from the top. So this will be a nice, that's what I love about this grower, a Better Bare Root Rose grower. They're really good at trees. Trees are one of those markets that even if you're a bare root rose grower, there's very few people that do trees because number one, they're really expensive to do and they're hard to do well. They're hard to harvest. They're hard to prune. They have to be hand pruned, manhandle. I don't know if that's the right word. But look at those beautiful roots on these trees. So, and then stems, trunks. So we can fit 6 trees into a box. And one of the questions I wanted to ask to all of you tonight, because I know one of the things that is the barrier to buying bare root trees is how expensive it is to ship. So we've come up with a way that I'm just curious if you guys would be interested in this, is if you buy 6, you get shipping for free. So we could also combine if you have other ones. So is Arctic Blue bare root tree available? That's a good question. Lorna, I can't look right now. Gracie says Arctic Blue literally blooms in bouquets. Each stem will give you so many. Yeah, so this is such a fun way to have a rose for cutting and also a really, really good statement piece. Shipping is really pricey. It is. And it's about the length of the box. And because we chose to bring in 2-year larger things. So, but we're thinking about doing a sale where you can, if you fill a box of trees, 6 of them, you can get free shipping. So curious if that's something you guys would be interested in. On trees, is the rootstock is also a rose or is it some other tree? Yeah, so on trees, everything from here to here is the same rose. It's RW. And there's a whole virus index block of RW that our grower holds onto to make sure, and they harvest tree stems from it. They literally harvest these big stems and they root them directly in the ground. It takes an entire year to do that before they can even put the buds on. And then this top, they're budded up here. There's 4 bud eyes. So there's 2 here and then there's 2 here. It's a north, south, east, west. That's what they call it, bud eyes. So you get a nice, even, full width. So yeah, there's 2 different roses on here. There's RW and then there's the actual rose. And in this case, this is an Arctic Blue. Yeah, so they also come in different heights. So this one is a 36-inch. So that means it's 36 inches from here to where the bud union is. Okay, so 36 inches here is what that means. It's not from the top of here to the bottom, but it's it's this measurement right here. So you can buy them in 36-inch, 48-inch, 24-inch. Most of what we sell is 36-inch. That's a really standard rose tree size. Especially for Gradiflora and hybrid teas. They need a bigger, more substantial base. Okay, let's try another rose tree and take a looky-loo. Oh, it's Gracie's favorite rose. Who wants to guess what it is? I mean, I think it's Gracie's favorite rose. I should probably know the answer to this. What do you guys think it is? It is All Dressed Up. So this is an all dressed up 36-inch rose tree. So 36 inches from here to here. Look at those beautiful canes. So all dressed up, you know how much Gracie loves that rose. It's incredible for cutting. It's an incredible tree. Erin, she does also love Chicago Peace. That's true. So, but All Dressed Up is a week's variety. So Gracie loves this one for cuts. It creates big sprays, lots of bright pink color. So she always talks way better about that than I do. But anyway, the trees are investment piece. And this is the cheapest way you can get them shipped to you because the shipping for the potted is the same. It's actually the same box, but you can fit 6 of them instead of 1. So really the cheapest way to buy bare root trees this big and this old are putting 6 into a box. Okay. It's all dressed up. Let's take a look. Oh, this one has such a different pattern. This is a star variety. This one is, oh, no, this is an old one, Angel Face. Angel Face has been around a long time. But look at this thing. Wow, it's even beefier. That's a 36-inch. And this is Angel Face. Angel Face is that beautiful purple, really, really fragrant. One of the most popular purple roses out there is Angel Face. So this looks very healthy. You know, sometimes we get people asking, oh, is that gall? It's not gall. It's callus tissue. Remember, how do you tell callus tissue from gall? Callus tissue is smooth. It's generally changes the color of the tissue around it, and it's organized. It feels organized. It doesn't feel corky like cauliflower. So on budded roses, including trees, you're going to have swellings like this. And I know this isn't gall because it's very smooth. It's organized. And as it matures, it turns into similar color to the tissue around it. Okay. So this is not gall at all. Okay. So it's just important to note that. Okay. Oh, I am making kind of a mess. All right, let's take a pause here for a second and I'll look at some comments. And I'll show you a few more bushes. I don't have a Grand Dame tree here with me, Trisha. I'm sorry. That's all that they brought me. Erin, gall looks like cauliflower. You're right. It's uneven and chunky, and generally it's a different color than tissue around it. It's generally really light, like almost golden, like kind of yellowish. So although it can turn more of a dullish brown as it gets older, as the cork grows and gets dark brown, but it always looks like really bumpy and is growing outward, whereas callus tissue swells around it and it stops. Nicole says, my opinion, but I could be wrong. First year, the tree gives more blooms because it has more canes, budded 4. The bare roots only have to have 3 for a grade 1. After the first year, it is the same because the bare roots grow more canes. Yeah, I think it's really dependent upon the variety and the gardener but yeah, I would say you're right. It's once your rose bushes get older and more established, you'll have lots of flowers. So really it's about the structural or architectural piece of it. Okay, let's move on to what we do. Oh, raspberry cupcake. Raspberry cupcake, we have a great sale on raspberry cupcake. This is one of those, I worked at Star when this was introduced. It was one of my first roses that I helped introduce. And it's a Cortez variety. It's so fragrant. And one of the things I always notice about it, I would go around and see all the different trial gardens, is raspberry cupcake was always blooming. Most of the time when you trial roses and you put them into the worst situations possible, no pruning, no spray, usually no irrigation, usually there's like nothing. Like you're lucky if you catch blooms. With raspberry cupcake, it seemed like there was always blooms happening, even in the worst of situations. So basically like the plant it, forget it, never do anything with it, it could still bloom. And so it's got that Cortez genetic in it. and it has fragrance. That's the beautiful thing about it. Raspberry Cupcake is a great beginner rose. This is, I would say, along with like Parfum of Bliss. I would say Raspberry Cupcake is right up there with probably one of the top 5 beginner-friendly roses that will give you roses that are fragrant and create beautiful bouquets. So love Raspberry Cupcake. So you can see this is an own root rose and really nice healthy canes. So canes and good healthy roots. So really happy with that one. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I'm getting like facts and facts. Oh, good. Here's one. What's this one? Oh, okay. So you guys remember the awesome deal we did at Black Friday on the 1.5 grades? So we got those in, and I want to show you what a 1.5 grade looks like. We still have lots of 1.5 grades on our website, not like huge quantities of each of them. 1.5 grades are a great like budget friendly way to start becoming a rosarian. This is Sunbelt Savannah, which we all love. Very, very fragrant. This is a 1.5. So you have 2 canes that are 5/16 of an inch wide. So this is what you can expect from a 1.5 grade own root plant from us. Okay. Now, of course, every variety looks a little bit different. This one happens to be Sunbelt Savannah, but 1.5s are usually a little cheaper, but they still produce a lot of roses for you. So lots and lots of commercial growers bring in 1.5 grades. They cut them back and they flush them, and they'll cut them back again. And so they'll really bush out, and they'll become just as beautiful as a grade 1. I would say grade 1, you'll get more flowers faster and sooner than a grade 1.5. They're the same age, though. That's really important to note. Grading has nothing to do with age. Now, whether it's budded or an own root does. A budded plant takes 2 years to make, and an own root plant takes 1 year to make. Actually longer than that, but that's how long they're in the ground. So this is what you can expect from 1.5. Still a really nice root system. Look how long those roots are. Okay, so 1.5 grades are really nice budget-friendly ways to get lots of roses, and you'll still enjoy flowers the first year from 1.5. I recommend that you make on all your roses, you want to cut them back really well. Just to get them to bud and to even out a little more. So like on this one, I'm going to do a little bit of pruning. You know what I say, prune, prune, prune. Prune, prune, prune. So that's what I would make it when it's done, okay? So you want to prune, don't prune the roots, leave your roots on, unless you have to take like one of the really, really sturdy like anchor roots that you can't twirl around. Remember, you never want to plant them like this. That's called J-hooking, right? So don't J-hook your roses. Don't shove it in the pot and then all the roots go like this. You can try and swirl them around. If you need to cut off the very ends of some of the anchor roots, that's okay. Just don't remove any of these feeder roots as much as possible. So that's how I would prune it. You want to prune that. In fact, you know what? I would actually, if this was me, it was my rose, I would take that off too. I would take that off. And I would take that to the bud. Okay, there we go. That's what I would do. So remember, there's energy all right here. And there's only so much energy in there to wake up the buds. There has to be pressure, water pressure behind these buds to get them to swell. There has to be energy to make that happen. And so when you prune it back like this, 6 to 8 inches at the most, and you clean it out, then you're going to get your buds to swell faster and more evenly. It'll help them wake up more. So prune, 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 but shoots, not roots. Okay. So don't hesitate to prune those tops back. It's so important. The number one mistake I see all the time is people will like plant it like it's sticking out like this, it's drying out, and you have this huge long thing, and they cut the roots off. And they're like, why isn't it waking up? Well, because you just cut off all the gas, you cut off all the energy. Okay. Keep your roots, prune the shoots. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Alrighty, what do we got here? Ooh, another sunbelt. We got a lot of sunbelts today. This is Sunbelt Plum Perfect. Oh my goodness, look at those. Huge roots. So the Sunbelt roses, so this is a #1 grade. Look at all those canes, nice big beefy canes. So let's put it up next to the 1.5. Let me grab that again. Okay. 1.5, #1. And they're both own root roses. This is a really good comparison of how a #1 versus 1.5 will come to you. This will still bloom, just not as fast or as much the first year as this one will, but it's still a really good, healthy, good rose. Okay. Sunbelt Plum Perfect, another Cortez variety. The Sunbelts love heat. That's why they're called Sunbelt. So sunbelts perform really well, especially in the deep southeast of the United States. Really, really good for that area. So Plum Perfect is a beautiful purple. It's one of the darkest true purples. Before it, sometimes you think like Celestial Night. I love those colors, right? Those like berry purples. But I really feel like Plum Perfect is that true like deep lavender. Like it's a beautiful, beautiful color. Look at all those roots and all those fibers. So you can see why it could handle like stressful situations, because it's just naturally healthy and aggressive. So just really, really have all this really, really clean. So Sunbelt Plum Perfect, part of our flash sale. And that's what a grade 1 looks like. So Sharon says, yes, even in the heat, it's lavender. Yeah, that sunbelts also don't fade, which is nice. Because one of the problems with the heat, a lot of times your roses fade so fast. And so one of the things they test for is that coloration can hold on to it. So Plum Perfect is a wonderful purple, not very fragrant, a little bit of fragrance to me. Plum Perfect is one of those roses where like some people get a fragrance, some people get none. So that's why I call like moderate fragrance, maybe just a little. But anyway, so if you really want a purple that can handle like tough situations, super healthy, this is a good one for you. So own root, grade 1, Sunbelt Plum Perfect. Really, really healthy. Love it. Okie dokie. Got a couple more here, and then I'll take some questions, and then we'll wrap it up for the night. Oh, look at this beast. I was also at Star Roses and Plants when this came out. Okay, first of all, look, the roots are so dense you can't even see the light through them. That's how dense the roots are. This is Romantica Ball Gown. And this rose, first of all, huge, gets big. Put her in the back. Her ball gown needs room to fluff. That's not the reason why we called it ball gown. It's because of all the petals. It's very high petal count, very romantic. This is an own root grade 1 rose. That's a 1-year rose. This is why this rose, you can just tell when you pick up a rose how good it is. Its genetics are naturally aggressive and beefy. Romantica Ball Gown is a Mayon bred rose. It's a French bred rose. It's fairly new. Trying to remember what year we introduced that. I think it was 24, maybe. Might have been 2024. So it's pretty new within the last couple of years. She does awesome in the heat and humidity, really disease resistant. Another good semi-beginner rose. The only reason why I would say not super beginner is because she gets big. And sometimes she's going to need a little bit of help with some pruning because she gets pretty big. So, but holy fragrance. The thing that I love about her fragrance, to me, fragrance is very subjective. Subjective to the climate, the what time of day, the stage of the flower, and the person smelling it. But ball gown to me smells like fresh linen. Like it's very fresh. I love the smell of ball gown. And her color is that beautiful, beautiful pink. lots and lots of petals, great vase life, own root rose, super hardy. So Nicole says she throws long arms for me. Yeah, she will throw some long arms. So definitely, you need to give ball gowns some room. But she will reward you if you do. Lots and lots of stems of flowers. So she's really floriferous. So she, as you can see, she naturally creates lots of stems. So this is a good one. Someone asked me to prune. I'm going to show you how would you prune a big beast like this when it comes in. You know, a lot of people, what they would do is they would prune off the roots to let it fit in their little pot and then sit and wait. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Prune, 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 the shoots, not the roots. This is what I do. I'm just going to show you what I would do if I were to get this. Number one, I would leave these beautiful roots. I would just make sure to get a pot as deep as I can. That's a nice 5-gallon pot would do well with this. Me personally, I would, so generally the goal, right, is to have it be like a glove. When you look down on it, it's kind of like a glove. You want it open in the center. See all these kind of spindly canes in the center? I'm going to take that entire thing out. So so look before, I'm going to take this entire thing out. Okay, I just took that entire center out. And the reason why is when you have that many canes trying to push new growth, it just slows it down a bit. Here's a broken one. Prune that off. Wow. And then I'm going to prune these suckers down. Okay. So I'm going to prune. So remember what I said before, if you didn't join our previous live, at this stage of growing roses, how and where and what angle you cut is not that important. The whole angled up towards an out-facing bud is more for if you're trying to shape an older rose and you're really trying to make, especially like on a hybrid pea, where you're trying to get nice, strong, straight stems for an exhibition. At this point, you're trying to wake it up, right? Your first job is to wake this plant up. It's dormant, it's sleeping. You got all this energy down here. You want to prune, prune, prune. Shoots, not roots. Okay, so I'm going to prune this puppy how I would prune it. If I were to get this, I'm going to take that whole thing off, actually. Wow, these pruners are not that good. I need to get my Bacos. I wish I could bring my Bacos on the plane with me, because I totally would. We're going to take that whole thing off, and then we're going to take that down like this. Okay, this is how I would prune it back to. See how it's nice and open? You have your main structural canes left, nice, even. You're going to get so many basal breaks and new buds along this to create. You need a good base. Think of it as the foundation. You are creating the forever foundation of this plant. So prune, prune, prune. Shoots, not roots. Okay. So that's how I would have pruned that rose. So look at all the stuff that I took out of it. Took that whole center out because that was all in the center. Look how spindly all those are. That's just energy being sucked out. Okay. So I took that entire thing out. Took a whole bunch of tops off of this. Cut it down to about 6 inches. It's about a little more than 6. It's probably between 6 to 8. And just tips of things. Anything was crossing in or anything broken. Okay. That's what you want to do when you get your rose. Okay, I promise you if you do this, it's not scary. Roses are tough. They are tough. Tougher than we give them credit for. By the way, this is that's very few thorns on this too, by the way. That's how I would prune that rose, and I would get it to leaf out. I may even take that off. I would maybe give it a little chance and maybe take this one off too. But you're going to have so many flowers from this. This will give it such a good structure and lots of places for those buds to break to create flowering stems. Prune, prune, prune. Shoots, not roots. Okay. Okay. I think I only have one more, you guys. And then I'll take some questions. Let you guys go. Ooh, this is a big beefy one too. All right, I've got a budded rose here. What do we got? Ooh, look at those chunky canes. Oh, Girls Night Out. Oh my gosh, I love Girls Night Out. First of all, great name. Super name. This is a girl's rose all day long. It's pink. It has fragrance. It's big. It's bold. It's beefy. It's definitely a girl's night out. It's like the perfect name for this rose. This is a 2-year budded rose. So you can see, let's see if you can see that. See how it has that swelling around where the bud was. Nice organized growth. That's definitely not gall. Look at those nice anchor roots. Lots of good feeder roots. That's Dr. Huey. Dr. Huey roots look very similar. You can almost tell Dr. Huey when you see it. Lots of good anchor roots and lots of short feeder roots, densely packed in there. So Girls Night Out is a Mayon rose. Girls Night Out's been around a while, but it's a wonderful rose. It's a wonderful hybrid tea, great vase life. One of those roses that when you see it in the field, you stop and say, wow, what is that? And why don't I know what that is? So just a really great hybrid tea. So look how beefy and chunky those canes are. So that's definitely a grade 1, 2-year budded. And just a reminder, here we have a 1-year grade 1 own root, a 2-year budded grade 1. These are both grade 1s. One's budded, one's own root. Let's show you 1.5 own root versus a 2-year grade 1. Okay, the difference is, that's okay that they graded out perfectly. That's what they're supposed to look like. And let's take something really different. Oh, let's see. This one doesn't have a tag on it, but I already know what it is. This is definitely a polyantha. But look at this one. And look at this one. Look how different they look. Both healthy roses, just the type of rose that they are. This is own root. This is a polyantha. Thinner stems. Definitely like a different form. Very healthy plant. Okay, I think I got through all of them. Okay, oh my gosh, there's so many. It's gonna be harder to clean up in here than I thought. It looks like antlers. Yeah, you're right. It does look like antlers. Fun to see the forms. I always think every rose, even though it's genetically identical, okay, like it's asexual propagation. That's how you make roses, the same exact variety over and over and over again, right? It's not from seeds or from cuttings or from buds, but they are still each unique. Like kids, they each have a different structure, and that's okay. You may even get the same variety, same grade, and they may look very different in how they're growing, and that's normal, and that's okay. It's just part of it. So. How would I prune the polyantha that I was just holding? Good question. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's find that little antler one. Just say like, okay. So how would I do this? So the same thing applies. Remember, prune, 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 shoots, not roots. I'm not going to touch the roots here. I would want to take out anything super spindly and take it back to 6 inches. Same thing. So if this was mine, there's this big one here in the center. I'm going to take that down to about 6 inches. And then we have these out. These ones are nice here. I like how those are going. So you can see how these have nice open coming out. I don't like this one. I'm going to take that one off because it's a little spindly, and I want to reserve some energy to make these the structural points. And then I'm going to take those down a little bit. Take those down a bit. And then this here, it is broken right there. So that's an easy decision. We're going to keep this one, and I'm going to prune these back and prune that off and prune out this little nub right there. There you go. That's how I prune it. And in fact, I probably will take this one off. Sometimes it's like it's like anything. You got to do it, hold it back, look down on it, and don't stress too much about it. It's not the end of the world. It really isn't, I promise you. It's not like you're going to be a worse rosarian or you're not going to get as many roses. The idea is to reduce the amount of buds that have to open and to create a good structure for your plant. And you can always go back and prune a little more too. That's the beautiful thing. So that's, I think, about where I would have it. It's open. It's about as even as I can get it for this one. And that'll be a nice base. Later on, as things bud out, I might clean up this a little bit up here too. But that's how I would prune that one. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? And then I think we're just at, we're just at about an hour. So Diane says, that is how I'm pruning my roses. Good. Pruning stresses you out, Crystal. You don't need to worry about it. I promise you. You don't need to worry about pruning. Plants are incredibly resilient. Now, if you were to like cut all the canes all the way to the base, just cut it all out, cut it to the base, it would still live. I promise you. It may not be like quite as good and structural. It might take a little longer to form all those new canes, but there's so much energy pent up in those roots. And this grower is so good. You don't need to worry. Don't worry too much. It's better to take back too much than too little, honestly. I always go, if I think, should I keep that? Away it goes. Okay. Roses have an incredible amount of energy underneath there. So, okay. Erin says, I kind of find it fun to prune now. Almost art. It is like art. Everything is different. There's no like wrong or right way, really. It's like every single one is unique. You have to just, it's like anything. You'll learn, you'll get better and better and more confident on it the more you do it. As you can see, like I have no hesitation because I've done thousands of these. And I know that no matter what I do, they all basically end up looking the same. It's about waking it up. That's the number one thing you need to do is wake it up. Okay. Lauren says, you're so right, Heidi. I did that with a knockout rose that was in my place when I moved in, took it down the soil level. The thing literally grew back so fast. Yeah. especially something on its own roots. It was chosen because it was aggressive on its own roots. Like it's healthy. I shouldn't maybe use the word aggressive. That sounds invasive. I guess vigorous is a better word that I should use. So, it's fun if you have no kids bugging you. Yeah, right. Exactly. Ashley says, when are the 20 bare roots going to drop? Soon. I'm working on them. I'm doing them as I'm doing inventory. So one of the things I think I'm thinking about doing is when we do the exclusive rose drop is to drop them at the same time. So you'll have other fun things to do. What do you guys think about that idea? Wait a few weeks and do them all together. Or we can do them probably in the next week or so. So we have so many cool things that we're doing. Gracie asks, can you talk about if needing to cover roses for this cold weather coming? Are you talking about like in the ground roses? Roses are meant to be outside in the cold. And you might want to clarify that question. If you mean like a bare root that's coming in, like you may get an email shipping notification from us and you might be saying, oh my gosh, I have a cold snap coming. Remember, these bare roots are in 35-degree coolers and they are happy as can be. When they store budwood, they store it at freezing level. Roses can handle it down to almost all roses, especially the top. The winter bud hardiness of roses can handle it down to -20. I mean, fairly regularly. When you have a bud union, that gets a little more tricky, but I don't ever cover my roses if we get a cold snap. It's nature's way. It'll just slow them down a little bit. Now, sometimes, and this has happened to me when I planted bare root roses, especially in Utah and when I lived in upstate New York, of course, this happened all the time. I'll get my bare root roses in March. I would plant them up. Sometimes early April, I'd plant them up. They start to grow a little, and we would get this like 20-degree night. And seriously, like I have so much going on in my life, it would burn the tips a little bit, but they rebud. They literally rebud right underneath the bud. So can you cover them if they've started to leaf out? Yes, you absolutely can if you want to take that time and that effort, but they will rebud. So I know from very personal and extensive experience of waking up bare root roses and forgetting to cover them or just saying, I'll just let them flush back out. Because as you guys know, if you've grown roses from bare root before, it's slow and it's cool. And as soon as it warms up, roses grow like this. It's like so fast. So it's really personal preference. I mean, yeah, cover them if you want to, if you have them starting to leaf out. because that new shoots are tender, especially if it's going like 65-degree days and it's beautiful and sunny, and then all of a sudden you're going to have this crazy drop into like even high 20s. It'll burn those tips back. It will, but they'll rebud. They just will. They have so much energy behind them. So Jeremy says it's going to be 7 degrees here in Texas this weekend. Whew, crazy. That is cold for Texas, but normal for me. In upstate, when I lived upstate New York and grew up in Pennsylvania and Utah, and you can cover your roses if you want to. If not, they'll just kind of defoliate and they'll bud back out. So, minus 20 in Michigan this weekend, Ashley. Yeah. That's like, if you have a bare rose, yeah, you're gonna want to put that into your garage if it's not in the ground. Remember, roses in the ground, the roots are protected, and hopefully you mulch them, so those roots have nice, good insulation on. Just depends upon how deep that frost layer goes. Yeah. And also, I always recommend, because you guys are all coming in from different places all over the country, different weather conditions, different stages. I'm assuming you all belong to your local rose societies. Like, I think almost every state has one. Check in with them, and they're gonna have really specific details for you on your area. But just from my personal experience growing roses in cold climates, they come back. So it just delays them. That's what it does. If you don't, it'll delay the bloom and delay them. So, okay. Anything else? Sounds like you guys are all kind of chatting about different degrees. Valerie says, "Heidi, question. I live in California. I have no idea how to pronounce that." Southeast of Bakersfield, we're going to talk about that. AB. I live at 8,000 or 5,000 feet elevation. I'm anticipating my bare roots will arrive soonish, so it can put in soil or soak longer. Yeah, so Valerie, you're going to be getting yours. We're going to start shipping California next week. So probably in the next couple of weeks, Valerie, you're going to be receiving yours. And if your soil is workable, which means it's not frozen solid, which I'm assuming by Bakersfield at 5,000 it wouldn't be, you can plant them directly in the ground, and they'll acclimate naturally and wake up naturally with remember, they're coming to you at a 30-degree cooler. The warmest they've ever been is what they've been in that box when it comes to you. So they can handle it outside. In fact, it's best. It acclimates them. It wakes them up at their natural rhythm. So if you can work your soil, no matter where you are, put them in the ground directly is really the best bet. I know lots and lots of you, including me, I do it too. I'll put them in pots and let them leaf out and wait till I'm maybe a little more ready to dig holes. So you always want to soak your bare root roses for at least 24 hours. You can do it longer than that, but you need to change the water every 24 hours. Okay. So I always say at least do a good solid soak of 24 hours, because rehydration is important. Now, we keep them very nice and moist in our coolers, but as soon as they come out, we put them into a box, and then we are going to spray them, and then we're going to close that bag with a zip tie, and of course our cute pink bow. So it should be nice and humid in there, but they'll be starting to warm up inside that bag because they're out of the cooler. Get them soaking. As soon as you get them, as soon as you get that box, the first thing you should be thinking about is opening the box, having all of your whatever you're going to soak in ready. Do a quick looky-loo at your roses and make sure everything looks good before you soak them together. And we're going to do all of that, by the way. We're going to, I don't see any issues. Honestly, I walked every single bare root and looked at every single bottom of clusters and looked for any issues, and everything looks really solid. So that's the number one thing you guys need to worry about when you get them. Okay. They're used to being cold. They can handle cold weather, and just get them soaking and you'll be good. Okay. Let's see if there's any other questions, and I'll let you guys. Oh, wow. I missed a bunch. Crystal says we've been very. How often should we mist if we need to mist canes? I would do it it's really dry in Utah too. So sometimes it's easy for canes to dry out here because it can get hot super fast in the high desert where I'm at. And so I hit them once a day. And if it's some crazy heat wave, sometimes I'll hit them twice a day. So especially if it's windy, like if you have wind, you'll need to do it more. If you can block it from wind and even put them in just a little bit of shade while they're first starting to push those buds out, it'll just help that water pressure to come in behind those buds and not transpire so quickly. So let's see. Stephanie asked, do we put anything in the water they're soaking in? Super Thrive vitamin. I don't recommend you put anything in the water. If you do, because bare root roses have everything they need to wake up. Your first responsibility with bare root roses is to wake them up. It's not to get them to bloom. It's wakey time. They need two things, water and temperature. That's all they need. Super Thrive and like a root stimulator, maybe something that has almost no nutrients in it. You do not want to burn your roots. I have seen so many pictures of people like pouring fertilizer on bare root roots trying to get them to grow. Okay, that does not help them. It hurts them. So can you put Super Thrive in your water? Yes, I'm okay with that. I think lots of people do it, and it's some basic vitamin B, I think. I don't even know what's in it, but it's I've seen lots of people do it and have success with it, and it's there's nothing like that's going to burn the roots. Maybe like Fertilome's root stimulator. Other than that, you don't need to, though. You really don't. So that's just my personal opinion, is that really you need water and pruners, a bucket and some soil in a pot is what you need to get started. So, okay. Well, let's see. Well, thanks, guys. Okay, this is a good one. Will old age dry cow manure burn them? Yes. So never, ever plant, even if it's old and it's aged and it's composted, you never, ever plant anything, especially bare root roses, in direct compost. It will burn the roots. So especially brand new, those new little root initiation, those tiny cells, they're so delicate. So anytime you're using a manure or that stuff is meant to amend your soil, not plant in, but amend. Okay, so I suggest that you use a good potting mix, a soilless potting mix. So I will say potting mix on the bag. It won't say garden soil. If you see the word soil on the bag, that's not for you. Okay, if you're going to do in pots, you always want to do potting mix, because it drains well. It's well mixed and formulated. It's not meant to amend your soil. Now, if you're planting directly in the ground, then you can use well-rotted cow manure mixed half and half with your existing soil and backfill. You never put direct compost on those roots, ever. You shouldn't do that for any plant, because you need to create a transition zone, right? You don't want them to sit in this really hot nitrogen environment and they hit your native soil. They're meant to amend your soil. Now, there are some soils out there like raised garden bed soils, things that are designed to plant directly in, but even those are too heavy for containers. So container drainage is everything, and potting mixes are formulated to have good drainage. And roses cannot handle having their roots soaking wet. So it's got to drain really, really well. Let's see, for next winter, can I leave the roses in large planters over winter outside? Kansas 6B. You sure can. It depends on the rose. So my rule of thumb for any perennial plant in a container is that you should always choose one that is one zone hardier than where you're at. So that means if you're 6B and you went to over a rose or any plant in a container, you should pick roses that are zone 5, because they can handle it a little bit more. It's just important that I overwinter roses in Utah. I'm zone 6 all the time and it works just fine. The biggest challenge you have in a cold climate like that is making sure they don't dry out, because even though it's cold and they're dormant, they still use moisture. You can't let them get dry and freezing the soil at the same time. So you want to make sure, I always push mine all up against like the side of my house in a little protected area out of the wind, and I water them really good. I put some mulch on top of it. And every once in a while I go out and check if it needs, and about once a month I have to water them. So, and if I miss some, or the ones along the edges, those are generally the ones that don't make it. So that's my general rule of thumb for overwintering folks. Trish says she has a few wrapped in burlap. Yep, you can do burlap. Yep, I've seen that done. So, and Jenny's asking, any other roses you guys want to see on flash sale? So those are all new in our flash sale. I hope you check it out. And remember, tonight only, it's a benefit of watching our lives, or if you see something you really like, maybe you want to add it, we'll combine shipping for you. So it's just from now until 10 o'clock Pacific. If you do it tonight, if you want to add anything, we only allow this for during the night of our lives. It's a really big benefit to just come on and learn and be part of our community, and we'll do some special things for you guys. So like we're always giving giveaways, and we'll do special things like combining orders for shipping. So Martha Stewart on flash sale. Sorry, we're not going to do Martha Stewart. I'm glad we have hardly any left anyway. So sorry. Maybe in the future we will. Luckily we got a lot more than most people. But they're still expensive when they're new. So I wish we could, but sorry, not that one. Fun in the Sun, Morning Glow, the final 20 Bare Roots, Kenzie. They're coming, I promise. And all right. Okay, anything else? Okay, I'll let you guys go. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Joining me, I guess. I'm solo. Tracy gets feeling better. And you have till 10 o'clock Pacific tonight to add anything to your orders without adding shipping. So, all right, everyone. Thanks so much. Have a good night. See ya.